Malthus's theory of population growth and its connection to development, proposed by Thomas Robert Malthus in his 1798 essay on the principle of population, offers a stark and intuitively understandable, albeit ultimately pessimistic, view of the relationship between population and resources. Here's an intuitive breakdown. The core idea: a race between rabbits and carrots. Imagine a field with a certain number of carrots, representing the food supply or resources. Now imagine a population of rabbits, representing human population, that can reproduce quite rapidly. Malthus argued that rabbits multiply faster than carrots. Population, if unchecked, grows at a geometric rate, like 2, 4, 8, 16. Think of it as each pair of rabbits producing more pairs. Carrots grow slower. The food supply, on the other hand, increases at an arithmetic rate, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is because the amount of land is finite, and even with better farming, the increase in food production will eventually slow down. The inevitable outcome: the Malthusian trap. Because the rabbits reproduce much faster than the carrots can be grown, eventually, there will be too many rabbits for the available carrots. This leads to a situation Malthus called the Malthusian trap, or Malthusian catastrophe, characterized by scarcity and competition, not enough resources, food, land, etc., to support the growing population. This leads to intense competition among people. Positive checks. Nature steps in to reduce the population through increased mortality. These are things like famine, disease, and war, which tragically increase the death rate and bring the population back down to a level that the available resources can support. Preventive checks. Malthus also discussed ways humans could voluntarily limit population growth, such as delaying marriage and practicing moral restraint, abstinence. He was less keen on contraception, viewing it as immoral. These checks aim to reduce the birth rate, intuitive connection to development, or lack thereof. Malthus's theory has significant implications for how we think about development. Poverty as inevitable. In a Malthusian world, sustained improvement in living standards for the majority is difficult, if not impossible. Any increase in wealth or food production would simply lead to a larger population, which would then consume those extra resources, driving everyone back to a subsistence level. Poverty isn't necessarily due to social structures or inequality, but a natural consequence of population outstripping resources. Limits to growth. The theory suggests inherent limits to how much a society can develop. Even if technology improves food production, the population will eventually catch up, creating new resource constraints. Focus on population control. Malthus's ideas led to a focus on the importance of controlling population growth as a prerequisite for any real development. Without limiting births, any progress would be temporary. Why Malthus was ultimately too pessimistic? The intuitive counter-arguments. While Malthus's core logic about exponential population growth versus linear resource growth is easy to grasp, history hasn't entirely played out as he predicted, particularly in many developed nations. Here's why. Intuitively, the power of human innovation, more carrots. Malthus underestimated the incredible capacity of humans to innovate and increase resource production. Technological advancements in agriculture, fertilizers, new farming techniques, genetically modified crops, have dramatically increased food production, often at a rate faster than population growth in many regions. We've found ways to grow more carrots on the same amount of land. Changing human behavior, fewer rabbits. As societies develop, birth rates tend to decline. Factors like increased education for women, access to contraception, urbanization, and a shift towards smaller family sizes for economic and social reasons have led to slower population growth in many parts of the world. People are choosing to have fewer rabbits. Global trade and resource distribution. Malthus largely focused on localized resource availability. However, global trade allows countries with resource deficits to import from those with surpluses, mitigating local scarcity. In conclusion, Malthus's theory provides a powerful and intuitive initial framework for understanding the relationship between population and resources. The image of a rapidly multiplying population competing for a slowly growing resource base is easy to visualize. However, his predictions of widespread and inevitable Malthusian catastrophes in developed nations haven't come to pass due to human innovation, changing reproductive patterns, and global interconnectedness. While his core concerns about resource limits and population pressures remain relevant in certain contexts, a more nuanced understanding of development acknowledges the dynamic interplay between population, technology, social factors, and resource management.